Hi everyone, Kris here. I'm the organizer of the Witch City Tarot Gathering, and tonight we're going to be interviewing the person you've been seeing for the last several months, Sankey. So I'm very, very excited to have Jen with us today, and as she joins us, I'm going to show you some of the goodies we've got for all of our attendees. And I'm super excited about these swag bags because not only does it have the cute logo that Lauren Recchia designed, they're just freaking badass. And all of our presenters and vendors have been sending in a whole mess of goodies to stuff these with. So I'm really excited about that. And we're going to be here for a few minutes. So if you want to grab an adult beverage, I've got a prickly pear Topo Chico. It kind of helps it because I've never done a live before. I'm Jen. I'm so happy you're here. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm a little tired, just trying to get everything sorted in my brain from being away, but I'm here. It's good.
I know. I expected you to be all sun-kissed and tan. It's
you're
I'm actually glowing.
Yeah, I'm the one with the big hat and the glasses and the shade.
I am right there with you.
So I know everybody's like, you're not tan. If you see Jay, he's total bronze the whole bit, and I'm just, you can't even tell for me, which is how I like it. So yeah. I see that as a mission accomplished. I love the warm, but I do not like getting sunburned.
Completely feel you on that. Just be me. So everyone's been seeing you do all these interviews. So doing your interview means that the Witch City Tarot Gathering is just right around the corner because we saved you and Sasha for last. So let's just dive right into it. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from and what do you actually do during the day other than all these interviews and gathering everything together on social media?
Just gathering. So I live in upstate New York. I live right around Lake George area. I've been practicing witch really my whole life, honestly. I got my first deck of cards when I was 14 and just never turned back from there. I'm an author. I have a couple things in the works. I have a tarot deck that I'm self-publishing, one I'm doing with Llewellyn, and then I have another project I will be announcing very soon.
Ooh, so, yeah, a little secret. I like those.
Very excited. Yeah, so I'm very eclectic in how I practice, mostly solitary because I live up in the mountains, and where I live, there's really not much of anything or anyone that does what I do around here. So,
you know what? Sometimes that's great.
Yes, no, it is. That's very, very true. So, it's been great too to get to know everybody and get to know all everybody in Salem has been really awesome too, because like I said, I've just been kind of doing my own thing for so long and just online. So it's great to be able to gather with people. I mean, in 100%. General, we're all happy about that.
Very excited. So yeah. Tell us a little bit how you got into reading tarot. How old were you? What was your first deck? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Like I said, I was 14. And my now husband, Jay, I had babysitting money and I was like, I really want one of these tarot decks because I was the weird kid that was playing in the woods looking for fairies and making potions with sticks and rocks and whatever plants I can find and just, talking to all of the things. So I was babysitting. I saved as much money as I could, and they were total brats, by the way. And he brought me to this. We lived in Long Island at the time, so. And it isn't how now, the internet really wasn't a thing, believe it or not. And so we went to this just bookstore and they had one deck on the shelf and that's what I got. And it was just a basic Rider-Waite-Smith.
Nothing wrong with that. One of the best decks.
That's it. That's
Pamela Coleman Smith.
That's it. That's the one to learn on. It's the best one, I think. So yeah, so really I just kind of started reading the book and trying to figure it all out and how it worked and, just kind of took off from there. And then I just, as I was able to venture out, I obviously started driving and I can go to different stores. I can you know, really the library was the best place to get any information. So I was like checking out all the books of the 3 or 4 they had in the metaphysical section. And then I would take them and I would like, you know, don't tell, but I would just copy them. So I had all the information.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you weren't getting it back for a couple of months. So yeah, so that's really what I did. And it just kind of grew from there.
I'm sure that if we lived close to each other, we would have been bumping into each other in that same aisle. Sometimes I remember back in the days where you're like, you look to the left and look to the right, because especially when you live in certain towns, you don't want anyone seeing you move there into the metaphysical section. But now I'm like, move out of the way. Let's see what's on the shelves, which leads me into, you've got a lot of stuff bubbling in the cauldron. You've got the deck, you've got some secrets that will be soon to be released, but the Stardust Wanderer Tarot is not a secret. Can you tell us what that's about, and what people, if they're into certain things and imagery in your deck, what they would like about it?
So that is actually the first deck that I've started. We are going into, I think, our 3rd year with that bad boy now. We are about 3/4 of the way done, and it is called Stardust Wanderer Tarot. And it is very much kind of like a sci-fi deck. It's got space pirates. It's got gods and goddesses in it. A lot of galaxy imagery. And for me, I really made it story-based. So the fool in the deck, her name is Mina. And her, you know, she's going, and it's really just her journey and finding her power and realizing that, you know, she's actually half space pirate and half, like, she's like a demigoddess.
Aww.
So the Selene, the goddess of the moon, is actually her mother, and she didn't really know that. And as she's going along, and like her auntie is like Hecate, and that's like her magical mentor. She has Poe, who is a magician in the deck, and he's a ginormous purple-ish raven with 3 eyes.
I love that.
Yeah, so he's kind of like her guide as well. And it really just goes through her just finding herself, because that's what happens. We all are going through life just trying to, you know, figure our shit out. So this is her journey, and it really, you know, and I really wanted to make it inclusive. So it's really based on the Rider-Waite-Smith, but it does veer off a little bit here and there, just in some of the imagery and some of the way the story goes.
I love that. Or I should say, like, I absolutely adore that. And I've been seeing little, you know, cards that you're posting online and on your site, and it's so vibrant. The colors are just kind of like lure you in, which is very indicative of you. Like, just even looking at you on, you know, IG, you're very vibrant. And so it's like, it's funny when you know someone and then they're creating a tarot deck, or art for that matter, and it's very indicative of their personality. So I think that's really cool. I'm really excited for you.
Yes. No, and my artist is so wonderful, because like, I just, you know, I have to create the image for each card. You have to say, you know, the person, what does the person look like? How much, like, what is their body type? What color is their hair? What are they wearing? So it's like, right, like every single detail. And I just give her all of that, and she just creates this. And I'm just like, whoa, that came out of my head, and she just made it real.
Yeah, I love that.
It's
so
awesome.
Before we go into what you're teaching in a couple of weeks, I am curious. I always love asking everyone who's read tarot for quite some time, if someone's just starting out on their journey of finding their cards, or maybe they haven't even purchased some cards as of yet, right? What are some tips that you would give them when you're first starting out reading tarot?
First, just go buy the deck. It doesn't need to be gifted. First and foremost, if you see something that you like, you go and get it. And I really think it's important to find a deck that you resonate with. And that's, again, colors, imagery. But I do think people decks are the easiest to learn on, you know, and take your time. There's no rush. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of cards there. And I really do think learning the base meanings is super important, because it will help to kind of enrich and deepen your intuitive reading as you move along. Because, you know, intuition is super important, and we need to practice that as well. And just even by pulling a card a day, or just reading through the guidebook, that's kind of amping up your intuition. And that's what's really important. And that's the essence of your reading, is the intuition, not the keywords. but the keywords will kind of help boost that intuition. So
I think that's very valuable advice. Thank you.
yeah.
So let's get into the nitty-gritty of it all. What are you going to be teaching during the Witch City Tarot Gathering?
I'm so excited about it. I can't wait to meet everyone. I'm going to be talking about ancestor veneration. So basically, who your ancestors are, why do we want to even venerate them, which really just means honor them and use them in your magical workings. And we're going to talk about creating an ancestor altar, who ancestors are, where you can find them, and who to decide to work with. And also just kind of, we're going to also do a tarot exercise, and we're going to tap into an ancestor, why we're there. And we're going to do just a little a ritual for them. And I have little battery candles. We're going to make a little altar for them. And just so you kind of get a taste of what it's like and what you can actually do, and really incorporating that into your everyday life, because it's so easy to do. And I think a lot of times these, when with the internet, with TikTok and all of these, Instagram, you see these massive ancestral altars and you're just like, whoa, I can't do that. I don't have time for that. Well, first of all, most of those people have been doing that for years and years and years. So those, that altar will grow as time goes on. But if you just light a candle, even if you just take that little battery candle that I give you and you use that until that bad boy burns out, you're doing it. And that's what matters, because when you work with your ancestors, you're just kind of also opening different neural pathways in your brain. And that's just like little receiving pathways, and you're opening yourself up, you're opening your intuition up, and you're letting the universe know that, yeah, I'm ready to work with this. I'm ready to level myself up and really start working with these ancestors, that they're there to help you. That's what they're there for. That is their actual job once they cross over and are acclimated to the other side.
I really love how you just described it. I thought that was well done. I do have a question, because I've had some people say, well, what if I don't want to work with my ancestors? Or what if there's some I don't want to work with? What would you say to someone who was reading your workshop description and thought that I don't want to work with my ancestors, and I don't want to know them either?
Right. Yeah. Like they all suck. Forget it. No. And and that's something I'm going to touch on, because honestly, my family history sucks. And there's a lot of people I'm like, no, we're just going to leave them there. I don't really want to be bothered. But the thing about ancestors is, family members aren't really brought to ancestor status if they are terrible people. If they did so many horrible things in life, even to anything, they're not going to be an ancestor that has been honored to be able to work with you. So I think that's really important. And you can work also with, I like to call them kind of heart family. It's like your family, your friend's family, or that like uncle who really wasn't an uncle, but he was an uncle to you and you loved him dearly. You can work with that. Or you can even work with archetypes. Love that. You can harness that energy as well. And that also too, a lot of times when you work with them too, it brings these ancestors from you. I mean, you have lineage after lineage after, goes back as far as, the first person. So there's so many people to work with, and it doesn't have to be those immediate family members that passed away, good, bad, or in between. So that's something, we're going to talk about, like you have options.
That's good to know. Options are always great. And speaking of options, we have so many options coming up in two weeks. I don't even know what I want to go to. I'm working the schedule with Stephanie, and I'm like, I'm having trouble figuring out which one I want to go to. And now listening to yours, I want to go to all three at the same time. So,
I know. It's so
options.
Hard. It is. I know. Options are wonderful, but then they are also like, oh, geez, how am I going to decide? And, and it's one of those things, too, that as presenters, like, we're all really good about it, too. If you really wanted to come to ours, but at that moment, this other one's calling you, then you just go to that. Like, nobody's going to be mad about it. And,
like a buffet.
Always come after and ask questions.
A little divination buffet, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So Jen, if someone's trying to find you online, on IG, TikTok, where can they find you and to learn more about what you do and how to purchase your decks?
Yes, it's Stardust Wanderer Tarot on pretty much all the things. I also work with the Cartomancer magazine, so you'll see me over there as well. So that's, yeah, really, if you put in one of those two things, you will find me, guaranteed.
Awesome. Well, I am really looking forward to seeing everybody in the next couple of weeks. It's been a long time coming. Last year we had to go virtual. The year before that we had to cancel. So it is going to be a really, really fun weekend. We're going to have Jen doing all our little lives and social media. So if you can't join us in person, rest assured she'll take good care of us so we can see it from afar. Lots of fun things going on. So it is sold out. Day passes are sold out. Weekend passes are sold out. So we do have virtual options available. So if you go to the Witch City Tarot Gathering website and click on registration and click on register, you'll see the list of virtual options. So if you'd like to join on Jen's class or any other one's class, you can do so virtually. So that's another option.
It is awesome option, of course. Yes. Now I'm excited about that too. It's always great to know that, like, you're talking and then you have, like, there's other ones out there watching. So I love that. And,
I know.
We're always here for questions too afterwards.
Yes, absolutely. And, maybe we'll just jump on and, in the next couple of weeks and do a question and answering, session live and just answer any questions you have about the Witch City Tarot Gathering, coming to Salem, those kind of things. But until then, thank you for everything you've done for us in the last several months. I'm always impressed with everything you do. So we were very fortunate to have you on the Witch City Tarot Gathering Planning Coven. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I do see a question in the chat. Will the sessions be recorded? They will be recorded. What do you call them? The virtual recordings will be available to those who have purchased the virtual option. So we may figure something out. We haven't really discussed that as far as if, actual in-person attendees, we might put a little way you can all kind of go back and see some of the ones you might have missed, but we haven't gotten that far yet.
Yes. One thing at a time.
Yeah. But thank you so much. Appreciate your time. I look forward to seeing everybody. It's going to be a wicked good time. So pack the black dress, pack your tarot cards. We're ready to go.
Yay. Bye, everyone. Thanks.
Bye.